Grand Theft Auto 6 may have just gotten delayed to May 26th of next year, but that doesn't mean Rockstar Games was kind enough to give us a brand new trailer. I'm talking about GTA 6 Trailer 2. Joining me to talk all about it is Alan Knight and Nick Maillet. Gentlemen, welcome.
We did it! We have a new trailer!
How excited are we for GTA 6 Trailer 2? We are so excited here at IGN. And before we dive into the trailer with a deep dive ourselves, I just want to promote all of the cool stuff IGN has covered for GTA 6. All day long, you can expect a ton of GTA 6 coverage. And real quick, I wanted to shout out an 89 details from the GTA 6 Trailer 2 article that is up on IGN right now. I'm sure we have a video version in the works, and I know that the Daily Fix is going to be covering GTA 6. So if you want even more GTA 6, make sure you stay tuned to IGN.com. But not just the trailer. Rockstar also gave the collective internet more to chew on while we wait for GTA 6.
Images, details.
Details, weapons, new characters, new locations, all available on the Rockstar website. And because that website isn't really loading very well, we're going to break it all down right now. But first, let's go through and kind of just enjoy the trailer frame by frame and see everything that the trailer's got to offer, shall we? Let's do this. Oh, and my laptop is disconnected. But this is the nature of live productions, everybody. We got this. Let's restart. Let us restart.
There we go.
All right, let's rewind. Take it from the top.
I like that right off the bat they kind of address the way that the last trailer got leaked. Like the first thing that we hear Jason say is, "Hey, just fixing some leaks." It feels very like tongue-in-cheek, like
They're
hey, we get
acknowledging
it.
that all the things have happened. But right away, we open up on the Leonidas keys. The Leonida keys. We see Jason here repairing the roofs for leaks and working with Brian here to basically, I think, set up the first mission in the game or one of the earlier missions in the game.
It definitely feels that way. Also, he is ripped.
Dude, he's jacked.
He is so jacked.
That's why it's taken so long to get a new trailer from Trailer 1 to Trailer 2. He's been working out. He's been pumping iron. But this right here, this little transition from cutscene almost looks like we are transitioning into gameplay here. One thing I want to call out, the end of the trailer shows that this game was, or this trailer rather, was captured on PlayStation 5. That's base console. And this right here looks like a transition to gameplay, and we have confirmed that the gameplay is running at 30 frames per second per the source files available in the press kit. And here we see Jason kind of going through his day-to-day.
And people seem to like recognize him too. They call out his name and stuff. Like,
He's recognizable, but this shot in particular, I want to kind of call out. Nick, you had a lot to say about this shot in particular, right?
Yeah, you just see reflections everywhere. We're seeing in the top corner there the reflection of the windshield in his car.
you can see
and
his
also
watch. It's crazy.
Bug splatters. It's just there's so much detail in here. What would you expect from Rockstar?
And this seems like a thing, like, you know, GTA 5 did just get the enhanced edition version of the game that introduced global illumination, ray tracing, all that jazz. So it leaves you wondering, I mean, they gotta implement that in GTA 6, right?
Gotta.
And then again, we see him pumping iron.
Impressive bench press, by the way.
I'm curious if this is evoking like what the kind of role playing and like character building that we saw in like GTA San Andreas. Like we saw it again in GTA 5 where you could run and get a faster sprint, more stamina. But it seems like there may be more direct ways of upping your stats. But again, all speculation on our front.
Speaking about how impressive this trailer is technically, if you look at the like beer physics, never thought I'd be saying beer physics for a trailer, but like the liquid kind of like sloshes back and forth in the bottles when you're sort of following the sort of swing. It's crazy the amount of detail.
Like for the longest time, everyone thought that Half-Life Alyx had the best liquid in bottle physics that there was, and I think Rockstar Games is going to do their best to give them a run for their money with their beer and liquid physics. One thing too, we see him kind of leaving this grocery store. First wildlife sighting, a little cat.
Oh yeah,
Cleaning itself.
I hadn't even noticed that.
A little corner store. So curious how prolific animals are going to be, and I think the trailer does showcase quite a bit of wildlife. So we'll get into that in just a second. And then again, just the sights and sounds of Vice City here.
And here's the first look at the penitentiary for this
What's your name?
Jason Duval.
for this trailer. Definitely, it's Jason picking up Lucia.
Yeah, she served some time, and she is leaving Leonida Penitentiary. And yeah, it's like I'm curious to see the circumstances that got her in here. You know, in the very first GTFM a long time ago, we thought there would have been a world where maybe Jason betrayed her, which is why she's in prison. But now we know, according to the Rockstar Games website, that Lucia actually went to jail to prison because she did something to protect her family. We don't know what that is, but the Rockstar Games bio does have that for her there. So what that is, who knows?
Yeah, it seems like we have a much better sort of timeline for how this game is going to play out, right? Like, this seems like, you know, you kind of get the intro with Jason, and then this is where Lucia gets introduced, and you kind of start the game in earnest.
One thing, too, to call out, well, we see them in this, like, kind of opening romance. I assume this is their first day together after she just got out of the clink, and she has an ankle monitor still wrapped around her ankle. And again, once upon a time ago, we speculated that maybe there's a world where that ankle monitor comes into play from a gameplay standpoint. I'm thinking Rockstar Games has always done a good job of kind of gating the player, because every GTA is a gigantic world to explore and navigate, and you can't really give that to a player up front. Their heads would explode with the amount of content that's available. So I think potentially the ankle monitor could serve a good gameplay mechanic by forcing the player to stay within a certain boundary. That way, you know, if you leave a certain part of Vice City, maybe there's a world where you get instant 5 stars, thus de-incentivizing you from actually exploring until eventually maybe she does enough like parole tasks or missions to be free of the ankle monitor. And again, we will see little glimpses of what she has to do, assumingly tied to why she was in prison in the first place. I'm curious if this is in the past, this kind of bank robbery that we're seeing here, or if this is present day. Part of me feels like this is how she wound up there, because from this point on after the trailer, we see them start small and work their way up. And I think that's going to be a recurring kind of thematic element in GTA 6, where they start off with nothing. Both Jason and Lucia start off with no home. Again, Jason is squatting in a home provided by Brian, the guy we saw at the beginning of the trailer, and he is doing odd jobs, intimidation money for rent and all that stuff from all of Brian's kind of patrons. We know from the Rockstar Games website that Brian is operating a drug smuggling ring from his boat and freight business, which I assume Jason is kind of helping Brian to do on the low. But to me, that's how you start the game, and then you start to escalate, and we'll see glimpses of that.
The new beginnings.
We got our Modelo ripoff. What are they called?
Dejos?
Dejos?
Dejos, I think.
Dejos?
Also, this water looks gorgeous. This water, the
beautiful.
sunset.
I mean, not just the water, the sunset in general, and I think this is going to be a game that pushes HDR to its absolute limit, along with potentially global illumination and ray trace reflections. We've already seen quite a few ray trace reflections, or just, you know, meticulous hand-painted details that are, you know, what Rockstar is known for. Stunning vistas, though. And again, we see here, this is that glimpse that I was talking about of Brian's freight business, the Boatworks and Marina. Very clearly, they are smuggling things that they are not supposed to. I believe the Rockstar Games website says that Brian is a like weed smuggler. So again, starting small in the grand scheme of things, which I assume we get into more advanced drugs later on in Grand Theft Auto 6.
One thing I want to call out really quick:
Uh-huh.
these phone numbers are real. Alan, you called them earlier.
Yeah, so I looked up every single phone number, called every single one in this trailer. All of them either are cannot be completed as dialed, or just sends you straight to like the sort of like tone. Like, it doesn't really let you complete the call. That's in real life. We don't know once we actually get into the game if you'll be able to call these numbers from the trailer, and they'll actually get you to, you know, talk to Brian, or, you know, talk to the local police station or things like that. That is something that was present in previous games as well.
And I'm curious, did you put a +1 before you dialed it?
I didn't.
Maybe that's what you gotta do.
786 is the Miami-Dade area code. So
So this is
Yeah.
historically accurate. The lore is accurate, everybody. Confirmed. They got the area codes correct.
Trust me, this place is
And here,
That's that community service moment you were talking about.
yeah, I'm curious, because is that supposed to be Lucia that we see in this orange safety vest? Because later on, Huh?
She's got the necklace on.
Yeah,
And she does have the necklace, so that has to be her. I assume, again, this is probably early mission. She just got out of prison, and this is like maybe getting acclimated to the city and the game kind of teaching you the levels of interactivity that's available. And assumedly, at some point, she will not have to do stuff like this, and you will be able to do more interesting GTA-style missions later on. But honestly, this level of attention to detail and working your way up from nothing is something that is pretty persistent throughout the entirety of the GTA series.
Looking at the chat, looks like Noledad77 says 876 is Broward County, Miami is 305, which are both of the area code numbers that are included in this.
Google lied to me.
Oh no!
Thanks for calling that out though.
But one thing I wanted to call out here, this shot in particular, we see Lucia and Jason in a new home setting here, complete with a terrarium. But real quick, the line Lucia says is, it's a starter for us. So we saw them after she leaves prison. They're in kind of just, you know, a small, modest motel style room, something small, nothing grand. But then we see some level of progression here. Maybe by actually, you know, she's free of her ankle monitor, assumedly, and maybe they've done a couple missions together, and now they've got a little money under their belt, and now they have a starter home.
I do love that it seems like you get to have a pet for this.
Who knows?
For this one, yeah.
It seems like they're like the Rockstar Games website does show that there is, according to the game, there is places you can go hunting and fishing. So if you can have a terrarium, maybe that means you can have an aquarium. Who knows? Maybe you can decorate your own home, your own hideout, things of that nature.
Yeah.
But then again, it looks like Jason and Lucia are introducing each other to each other's friends. We see them now on a yacht. So they've gone from motel, starter home. Now this looks like a yacht to me. Again, nicer clothing in general.
We're gonna do this. We're doing it right.
And it says when he says if we're gonna do this, we gotta do it right.
Yo, D, this full effect.
We're in the club.
You got your name, address, they got
Apartment.
everything.
Which actually interesting to note. I know there's been some speculation, some theories in the shot right before this when they're sort of talking about like they have all your information. This group here asks if Jason is a Fed, which I think could be a little bit of a callback to a theory.
Well,
you
Nick,
had.
you actually had a little bit of an interesting theory about this.
So my theory is that Jason's a Fed, or he's a cop, undercover, something like that. It's called out a few times vaguely, and then you have right after this, you have the two police officers talking to each other. I was zooming in trying to see if the ears of the guy that the cop is talking to match Jason's, but it's a little bit too dark.
Yeah.
Um,
There is also that interesting line in the prison when Jason goes to visit Lucia when she's getting out.
and the guard is like, "Have I seen you before?" And he just kind of is very like,
It's
Yeah,
very
I think he says you might have.
you might have."
Yeah, it's very nonchalant. So I'm curious if there is this level of added intrigue. Either if he's a Fed, if he's a cop, or maybe he's just, you know, someone. Maybe he's. Why did Lucia go to prison and he didn't? You know, like maybe there's a reason why. Maybe he's a snitch. Who knows? But we do know, according to the Rockstar website, that Jason does get introduced to what's his name? Booby.
Oh, Booby Ike.
Booby Ike, who is the
Fantastic name.
a Vice City local legend, who is an empire, like a local legend who has a vast real estate empire that includes I guess a very famous strip club as well as a record studio. And Jason gets mixed up with him because they get a new rapper and they get a couple new musical acts under their belt. So assumedly Jason and Lucia are going to be working with the music industry as well as fleshing out Booby Ike's. I can't, no matter how many times I say his
Grand
name.
Theft Auto name ever.
It's going to be building out his empire, I would assume. And again, we know from the Rockstar Games website that Booby built his empire on drug money.
Yeah.
So it all kind of goes full circle.
Yeah, there's a quote on the website where they talk about, hey, you know, I have the club business pays for the record company and the drug money pays for it all. And that's sort of like the layout of Booby Ike's sort of empire is he started off with the sort of drug scene, then went into clubbing, and then now is also trying to kind of bring this record company into the forefront as well.
Yeah, and that's a thing that we see that's pretty like thematically appropriate for all of GTA is just the idea that everyone is starting from nothing. So it's like, the idealized American dream. We start from nothing and we are trying to make something of this life. And usually the way it works in GTA is they do it through some nefarious means. But again, one thing I want to call out here is it seems like there's quite a few missions where Jason and Lucia are kind of working hand in hand. In GTA 5, we saw all of the characters kind of independently operating. There would be occasional moments where they would work together in heists, but I'm hoping we see a lot more of both our playable characters from mission to mission, because I think that would add a level of like dynamic gameplay that I think is missing from Rockstar games. It's breaking. Hopefully, it breaks free from the Red Dead Redemption 2. You didn't walk in the direction we wanted you to walk, therefore you failed the mission. I'm hoping they have a little more flexibility in terms of how you go about doing the mission.
100%. I love that little split-second clip there too. It kind of shows Lucia in like a little bit more of her element. We see she has a necklace that has a boxing glove on it. Is she clearly,
Comes from a background of fighting, right?
Yeah, of fighting. There's like, I think in one of the stills, it's her like in the gym with some AirPods on, just like fighting a punching bag. It seems like that is her bread and butter for sure, to be that sort of melee attacker. So it's cool to see like
Brawn.
Yeah,
because that makes sense, because we know Jason is ex-army, so maybe he's more of like a weapon tech guy, and maybe Lucia is more like the muscle, brawny, street smart type.
Yeah,
we see from the website that Lucia's father raised her and taught her how to fight as soon as she learned to walk, and we also know that Lucia grew up in Liberty City and then eventually moved to pursue the American dream to Vice City with her family. So again, this is the same family, the reason why she wound up in prison in the first place. So very curious to see how much her family life is going to play into the story.
We got it.
Right here.
Yeah, actually, I have a very, very minute detail. In the background, you can see the billboard says "Fun has no borders." There also the bank that they hold up at the beginning
of the trailer.
is called Sin Fronteras Bank, which is the No Frontiers Bank. So it seems like borders or frontiers kind of is like a thematic here. So I wonder if that's going to play into like, originally you do have that, if our theory proves to be correct, you kind of have a border of a frontier that you're sort of kept towards with that ankle monitor. And then you can sort of become a little bit less constrained by those
you can
invisible
move further and further away. And we also see a glimpse of new weaponry here. We see Lucia using a grenade launcher to destroy a bunch of vehicles. And might I say, that fire looks very pretty, and I'm sure it'll look even better. Also, the lens flare. There's just a lot of like delightful little touches that make this game. It makes me baffled, honestly, that it's running on a base PlayStation 5 because they specifically call out PlayStation 5, not PlayStation 5 Pro. And a crazy, this feels like just a vignette at the end of a mission or like the climax of a mission. Lucia's getting attacked by a woman, it looks like. We see Lucia wearing the same safety orange vest underneath. I assume that's her on the bottom here, but it looks like a plane is about to land. We see the landing gear in place, and we are soaring over Vice City here. So curious to see where this takes place in the main story. And then, of course,
Stealing a safe.
I think we all are
Fast Five.
fans of the Fast and Furious franchise in this household. And this is very much just pure Fast Five. Instead of a giant bank vault, it looks like cargo. Maybe it's from that same plane that was landing earlier. Maybe this is like a 1-2 punch of a heist. Who knows? And then we see some more glimpses of kind of the social aspect of GTA 6. The Rockstar Games website showcases, what is it, Two Dimes? Is that their name?
Yeah, Two Dimes.
It's a new musical act that is kind of been brought on, and it's two women who are known...
Real Dimes, sorry.
Real Dimes. It's two women who were friends in high school and have made a name for themselves being street smart, leveraging local gangs, and also being smart with their social media. And the fact that we are leaning more towards social media from like a video talent perspective, it makes me think that this is going to be way more substantial than what we saw with GTA 5. Like no life invader here, or if there is, it's going to be more meaty and meaningful.
Well, and we saw like whatever their version of Life Invaders, Instagram Live, TikTok Live in the first trailer. We don't see that in this one, but now we have characters that are influencers. So definitely gonna see more of that.
GTA 5 felt like the rise of social media in terms of how it was laid out, like Web 2.0 looking social media, whereas GTA 6 looks like it's leaning more towards the vertical video aspect of social media and how at the turn of a hat you can kind of become a celebrity overnight because of the things you do.
Yeah, and what's cool with this is also the tie-in to Booby Ike. I can't get over saying his name. They actually sign to Only Raw Records. That's sort of like the beginning of that storyline. So it'll be interesting to see like if your character can also rise to fandom with this sort of like new wave of influencers that are taking over.
Either that or you're helping orchestrate weird social media stunts for Real Dimes. And also, presumably, a character we haven't talked about is Draquan. Draquan is a character who is the first rapper, the first rapper signed under Raw Records, who then brought on Real Dimes. We see Draquan here. He's responsible for bringing them on. He's, again, everyone in GTA is an entrepreneur by trade. Like, that feels like the quintessential what it means to be American is to be an entrepreneur, and he's less about like the gangbanging lifestyle and more about like the musical side of things. He wants to make music as opposed to, you know, drug money and like he wants to focus on musical career, whereas Real Dimes feels more they'll just do anything for the vine, essentially. And again, we get a glimpse here of real life locations from GTA 6 and in real life Miami. Real quick, if you want to cut away from my laptop, I want to showcase a side-by-side comparison that we have of this real life location.
So this is based on the Clevelander Hotel that's in South Beach, and it is kind of crazy how like 1-to-1 the replica is. You can see in the trailer.
You can pull it up now on my laptop.
There's like this sort of curvature there on the wall to the right. You can see the
where they were dancing in that trailer is right over here.
Yeah, and there's several rooftops that the dancers are on top of. There's that sort of like neon lighting on the left side that you see a little glimpse of as well in the trailer. It's kind of crazy to bring these elements of real life into the game. I know GTA 5 did a fantastic job of doing that for LA, so it's cool to see that also happening now for Miami as well.
Now every time you have an LA local who goes to Miami, they can now local Miami people can take people on the GTA Vice City tour.
I can finally get that experience. I've given so many people coming to LA.
And again, we see aspect of the strip club again. And this one, you actually called out something pretty interesting. We see our first glimpse of a returning business to the GTA world, Ammunition here. But this is Phil's Ammunition.
Yeah, so it makes me wonder, are all the stores not just going to be this copy and paste Ammunition, whatever? Are they going to be named and feel more bespoke?
Yeah, they have like the franchise owner attached individual bubble wrap.
In engine too, because Red Dead Redemption 2, I believe all of its cutscenes were in engine. Again, we get a glimpse of all the locales that we're going to be visiting throughout Vice City. We see a little bit of a mission, and again, it just seems like see this blossoming romance between. Honestly, has me really compelled and Clyde in a way that makes me wonder. I mean, things didn't end too well for Bonnie and Clyde, so I'm very curious to see how things end for Jason and Lucia, especially knowing that GTA endgame states always have a level of choice. The player is, you know, whose fate you get to determine. So I'm curious to see if GTA 6 continues that series tradition of who to save, who to kill, and things of that nature.
Yeah, this is also possibly my favorite character from that was introduced in this trailer. This is Cal.
His name's Cal. Yeah, tell me a little bit about him. We learned more about him from the Rockstar Games website.
Yeah, so he's a conspiracy theorist. He's very much like I don't know, just seems like you know, like the sort of like conspiracy. But if you look at his tattoos on his arm, one of them says "Do not resuscitate." He has a
definitely not an organ donor.
he has a fish for. He has a tattoo on his on his alien taking off like a human mask. So kind of like shows you how that one right there where he's in the pool, you can see in much better detail the tattoo sleeve.
I'm curious. I'm curious if it's the same alien from GTA 5, but what you were saying?
Here for this sleeve is on sort of like his pec. He has a what looks like almost like a toilet feeding into somebody's this like tattoo face's mouth. It says the whole truth. So again, still very much like leading into that sort of conspiracy theory, like going a little bit deeper from what meets the eye.
Yeah, one thing that stands out, there's deep sea mystery, whether or not a jetpack exists and things. ARG that is, and it's a community working together to figure out. I know a lot of people have different takes on how it unfolded in GTA 5, but according to the Rockstar Games website, in the what's the Everglades? What's the Everglades stand in for this?
Grass Rivers?
The Grass Rivers, and then Mount
Calaga.
Mount Calaga. We love Rockstar Games because there is so much to find and so much to sink your teeth into, and I honestly cannot wait to see everything that players find over time. Like, I'm gonna have my own playthrough, but you know there's gonna be the subreddit that's playing through. There's gonna be a Mount Calaga mystery, I'm sure. There's gonna be a Grass Rivers mystery, and people just finding weird stuff in the world, which is one of my favorite parts of GTA 6. But now that we've come to the end of this trailer, what's your general take, Alan? Starting with you, how did you feel about it?
I honestly, at the beginning of the week, or last week, at the end of the week on Friday, when it was announced that this game was delayed, I was like, oh man,
It was a bummer.
I was like, are we cooked? Like, can this game really like survive that extra year of waiting?
But eventually good, but a quick release game is forever bad, or something like that.
Exactly. I think that's definitely something to be said. I know Rockstar puts incredible amount of care and love into each of these games. You can clearly see that in this trailer. I know people were like, "Oh man, like, let's at least get screenshots. That's the least they could do when they delayed it." And I hope that everybody that said that is happy, because I certainly am.
Rockstar said, "Hold my beer."
Yeah, this is
Hold my deho.
No pun intended. This is a Rockstar of a trailer too. I think it made us ask a ton of questions. It's getting me hyped for all these different like theories that are coming up. I know a lot of from the trailer one was just kind of like, you know, vignettes into like, oh hey, here's Florida man, you know, fighting an alligator in his pool. Here's, you know, the Florida Joker. This feels like it's a lot more of a glimpse into the narrative of the game, which is exactly what I wanted.
And real quick, before we get to you, Nick, I just wanted to reiterate that we're still going to take a look at some locations that weren't in the trailer. But real quick, what was your take on the trailer?
Yeah, so Grand Theft Auto 5 is my favorite game almost of all time.
Mhm.
It's in the top 3. With the first trailer for GTA 6, it was like, okay, this looks cool, but we didn't really see anything. And then when the delay came, I was like, oh no, that's not good.
Mm-hmm.
And then this trailer came out and it's shown so much. I'm going to watch it. I think I've watched it 25 times already this morning. I'm going to watch it 25 more times. I am so excited. I am so ready. What is it? 300 and almost 400 days from now when the game comes out?
A little over a year, because it is currently May 6th.
So it's a year and 20 days.
A year and 20 days, folks. Hang in there.
385 days to go. And yeah, can't come soon enough.
One last thing that I want to call out, and this is my theory. I know Nick had his theory about the, you know, being an undercover cop. There are two different stills. Or I guess one is in the trailer. It's at let me see if I can pull up the time code.
Again, put on your Mount Chiliad mystery aluminum hats here. This is pure, full-blown conspiracy from Alan. So Alan,
when he punches the register, when he's doing the first sort of like strong arming of somebody,
right,
his watch says 11:08 right there.
Okay, hold on.
And if you zoom in, you can see it.
Enhance, computer.
Enhance.
I do see 11:08.
Yeah.
So let me see.
And then
I don't know if this will let me. I don't want to zoom in because we're using my laptop. But
Yeah.
you can see 11:08.
So it
I
says
can
11:08.
confirm.
and then there's another still. This is from the press kit.
All right.
It's one of the Real Dimes photos. It's them on a car.
So
and
we
there's
see the real dimes on a car. I'm not sure if you have that still pulled up.
let me send it here. So
But what is the theory that we see here? There's another still.
there's a cell phone in the foreground that's a little bit blurry. It could be 11:05. I think it's 11:08.
So that cell phone that you see in the bottom right corner, conspiracy theory, you think it's 11:08. What do the numbers mean, Mason?
What do they mean? What do they mean, Jason? So my theory is that this is sort of like, you know how they had like the whole theory of like, oh, like the placement of the moon aligns with this thing.
Yep.
I know it's a bit of a stretch. A lot of other parts of the trailer have watches that aren't this time, but 1108 seems like it's in at least 2 things. So I'm throwing my hat out there. Maybe trailer 3, 1108.
Ooh.
So you're calling your shot right now.
I-
You have
this
the
is my
entire
theory. It's a
internet
theory.
watching.
It could be
and you're
wrong.
gonna say November 8th for GTA trailer 3.
I would love it if it happened, and I will call it if it's true. If it's not, it's just a theory.
It is just a theory. Again, a conspiracy theory. Oh wait, is there still another conspiracy theory? Or are we okay to remove our
I think
conspiracy
we're
hat?
going to remove it.
Okay.
The hats are coming off. The Mount Chiliad mystery continues. But let's talk a little bit about locations that weren't in the trailer. We got a bunch of stills. Let's start off with the city itself, Vice City. Vice City is described as the glamour and hustle and greed of America distilled down to a single city. Each neighborhood was something new to offer, from pastel art, deco hotels, bright white sands of Ocean Beach, the bustling paneria of Little Cuba, bootleg brands of Tishawaka Flea Market, out to the VC port, the cruise ship capital of the world. So it just seems like we're going to see not only a lot of Vice City locals and Leonida locals, but also tourists overseas. You know, I couldn't think of a more interesting hub of just general different people. And from what we saw of the original trailer and this trailer, there's just a whole bunch of different NPC body types that we've never really seen, that I don't think were possible, frankly, in previous GTA. So I'm very pumped for that.
Yeah, the fifth still for the Vice City section, I think, is really funny because it kind of is reminiscent of that trailer 1.
We see people on the beach
Yeah.
kind of lounging, if you can pull that up.
Yeah.
Again, feel free to cycle between all of the images for each location. We're going to do our best. We're just, we're kicking our feet up. We're real casual about it all here at GTFM. But we see another glimpse of different body types that are available in GTA 6, which is just interesting from a dynamic player interaction standpoint. I'm hoping we see something similar to what we did with Red Dead Redemption 2's like intimidation or like greeting aspect, where you can, based on how you use different button prompts, your main character could interact with an NPC in a very different way, and sometimes get them to start a fight with you, start a gunfight, or you intimidate them and scare them away.
Yeah.
I mean, bringing back to like the body types and stuff like that, throughout the whole trailer, every time we see Jason, if he didn't have a buzzed hair, he had a different haircut, different beard. I'm hoping that they brought the like hair growth mechanics from Red Dead over here, and then you can have just, eventually just a crazy looking guy with like the biggest beard ever.
I mean, again, we've seen like people working out in a way that makes me think that like a changing body type, the way Arthur Morgan could change body type based on how much you ate and based on how much you ran, whether or not you drank hair growth tonics. Like, I'm curious to see what GTA 6 hair growth tonic is, because they've already said on the website that there are gas stations that you can get energy drinks from.
Yeah.
So maybe that's just one way you can affect your body type. But let's move on to the next location, which is the Leonida Keys. Again, this is the tropical archipelago. The website says to get your buzz on and pull up a deck chair, but be careful because these beautiful waters are also deadly.
Yeah. This bridge, I sincerely, I hope that
You gotta have
that crate like theft, the reminiscent of Fast 5. I really wanted to go above this bridge because it just seems like that would be such a spectacle of like, there's like planes, helicopters chasing after you, tons of cop cars, and you have to like sort of keep it within the lines for this thing, or else you might get pulled into the water.
We also see stills of deep sea diving. You can actually go underwater and explore. It looks like a fully functioning flora and fauna that is both above ground and below ground. I'm hoping that we see something similar to Red Dead Redemption 2's like prey and predator system, where there's a full-on ecosystem of animal interactivity. And again, maybe there's a world where we can collect animals and add them to our terrarium, to our aquarium. That'd be really cool, except for turtles. You're not supposed to do that, I've been told. I know we are kind of nearing our end here, but I got to speed run the rest of these locations because I got to talk about them. Grass Rivers is the one that I'm most excited about. This is the Florida Everglades stand-in, full of mangroves, deadly predators, and weirder discoveries. Immediately I'm thinking of, is this the new Chiliad? The website describes it as a primordial expanse. Maybe there's dinosaur bones, or maybe some weird bones that we don't even know about. Very curious. What's your guys' take on the river, the Grass Rivers?
So Cal does have some dinosaur tattoos on his forearm as well, so that might be a
There
nod.
were dino bones in Red Dead Redemption 2 as well to
So
discover.
I would definitely not be surprised if that's one of the things that you can find in this area. I'm very excited to check it out.
Some big swamp monster or something like that. There's
Oh,
there's gonna
dude.
be something there.
The new Bigfoot, is it the swamp monster, the swamp thing in GTA 6?
I like that. I like that.
We also have Port Gellhorn, which is, this idea of the state that is kind of faded away. It used to be like a tourist attraction that is now kind of dying down. It's described as cheap hotels, shut down attractions, empty strip malls fueled by malt liquor, painkillers, and truck stop energy drinks. Jump on a dirt bike and hold on to your wallet. This is evoking like the northern part of GTA 5's map where Trevor's from. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from Port Gellhorn here.
100%.
Yep.
Additionally, we have Ambrosia, heart of the state, American industry and old school values reign supreme. The Allied Crystal Sugar Refinery provides jobs, while the local biker gang provides almost everything else. So again, very Lost and the Damned evoking here. I believe this is a different biker gang than what we saw in something like GTA 4 and GTA 5, even though we got a little bit of the glimpse of the Damned. But very curious to see potential new storylines. I believe this guy's hat right here, this biker, says Liberty City Cycles.
It does.
So that's pretty interesting. Again, just that connectivity from game to game, which I really appreciate. And curious to see, whether or not you can side with different factions potentially in this game. They all seem to have like their own kind of calling card to some extent that is evocative of something like Night City's street gangs that we saw in Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, the next still in this set as well kind of shows a field that like has some fires lit in it too. So I wonder if there's like some environmental destruction. It's the one with the power line sort of going throughout. It looks like a sunset. That one right there.
Yeah, I mean,
there's like different fires in the crops there. So
we do know that crop rotation via fire is like a very real thing that I'm sure a bunch of farmers in our chat right now are shouting at me that I know nothing about. I just know that that's a thing. So I'm curious to see if dynamic weather and dynamic events initiated by NPCs are something that Jason and Lucia might have to deal with. Which is part of the fun of GTA. And the last location shown on the website is another one that has my Mount Chiliad hat coming back on. It's the Mount Calaga National Park, a national landmark on the northern state border of Leonida that offers prime hunting, fishing, and off-road trails surrounded by backwoods, hillbilly mystics, and paranoid radicals who live far from the prying eyes of the government. I'm saying Mount Chiliad is back and better than ever, baby. And this time, I think we get a beautiful mountainscape and also the Grass River, which I'm very stoked for.
I'm so excited for that. I wanna take a dirt bike and just go all over the place in this location. It looks so fun. I know we got some glimpses of it in the first trailer as well, where you sort of see like people on like the ATVs and like the all-terrain pickup trucks. Like this is where I'm gonna spend so much of my time in this game. I'm so excited.
We see a lot of the NPCs too sporting weaponry as well, not only in this Mount Calaga location, but also in Port Gellhorn. So like it seems like in general, there's going to be a lot more NPCs packing heat and some serious firearms too from what we saw with like Port Gellhorn and assumedly Ambrosia as well. So very curious. Final thoughts on locations. It seems like you're very excited about Mount Calaga. Is that your standout?
Yes, 100%.
Nick, what about you?
I can't wait to get back into Vice City proper.
Vice City?
It's looks so cool. Looks like a big playground, and it looks like you're just gonna get. It's so every screenshot we've seen of any area is so dense, and it just looks like it's gonna be a fun playground.
For me, it's got to be the Grass Rivers. There was a still and a shot from the trailer where we saw the cops chasing someone just through like the marsh and the grasslands and the Everglades among the mangroves. It's such a cool like humid vibe. Like I can feel that screenshot, and it's just something that I think really distills what makes this tropical setting so interesting to me, because we haven't really had a chance to have that level of dynamic interaction in the maps. In GTA 5, everything felt so separate from each other, whether it be in the ocean or land or in the mountains. I'm hoping that there is some more like interactivity between locations. But there you have it, everyone. That was a shotgun blast of GTA 6 details for us to obsess over. Hopefully not for another year in 20 days. I'm hoping Rockstar decides to drip feed us some more material. But before we go, I wanted to plug something real quick. Now's a great time to grab some amazing deals through Humble, where every purchase helps support charity. This May, check out the Doom and Wolfenstein Mayhem bundle, which you just have to pay $28 to unlock the complete Doom and Wolfenstein collections. The bundle now includes Doom VFR, Wolfenstein Cyberpilot, Wolfenstein Youngblood, and a $10 coupon for the IGN store. And as a Choice member, you'll also save up to 20% in the Humble store, including on new releases, pre-orders, and big sales. So whether you're shopping the store, grabbing bundles, or subscribing to Choice, every purchase supports a great cause. So what are you waiting for? Additionally, IGN's in-person fan event, IGN Live, is coming to downtown Los Angeles on June 7th and 8th. It's almost here. 1 month away, baby. Come hang out with us in downtown LA at the Magic Box at the Reef for an exciting live show all weekend long. We'll have exclusive reveals, interviews on stage with celebrities and your favorite people in the games industry, playable gaming stations all over the floor, tons of giveaways and prizes, panels, IGN merch, and so much more. I'm running out of breath. You can expect to see Xbox, Netflix, Arcade 1UP, 2K Sports, Rick and Morty, IDW Publishing, and so many others I am not allowed to talk about because my bosses will be very mad at me if I do. So make sure to head on over to IGN.com/live to grab your tickets and use code GTFM for a special discount. And again, before we go, you want more GTA 6. We all want more GTA 6.
Yes.
So make sure to keep it locked here on IGN all day long. I'm assuming all month long because we've got a ton of GTA 6 coverage coming for you. I know we have a daily fix, and I'm assuming we have an adaptation of that 89 details from the GTA 6 trailer 2. So do not miss out and don't leave IGN. What are you doing? But from the rest of us here at GTFM, thank you so much. And once again, GTFM.
We'll see you on the next one.
It's out of money.
Nope, it's not.